looks like Angel Reese, well, it looks like she's just been caught in what could certainly be taken as in a lie. All right? All these things that she says she has dealt with over the last year, all these encounters of racism.
Picture this. At what should have been a run-of-the-mill press conference, Angel Reese let a jaw-dropping comment slip, instantly sending her PR team into panic mode, while Ariel Atkins' follow-up only fanned the flames.
Angel Reese, the most coddled, babied professional athlete in all of sports, continues to be the most babied and coddled professional athlete in all of sports, continues to have her peers say, "You go, girl. You be unapologetically yourself. Don't worry how rude, how arrogant, and how disrespectful you are. Don't worry about all the lies that you perpetrate. Don't worry about that."
What if the loudest scandal of this WNBA season, the one that stamped Indiana Fever fans as villains and splashed racist heckling across every sports headline, never happened at all? Less than a month ago, the league spent 10 days interviewing spectators, combing security footage, and analyzing broadcast audio from the May 17th Sky Fever matchup, only to announce it could not substantiate a single hateful word or gesture. But that's only the first fissure in a story that's about to get stranger by the minute.
Remember the guy that I guess was out there waiting for him supposedly, and when the team was coming out, and of course we saw footage of that, and there was nothing malicious to it whatsoever that anybody could see. And then of course the Indiana Fever fans were yelling racist things or making racist noises out around the court. WNBA did an investigation, found nothing.
It all ignited with one anonymous late-night X post, 39 words, 3 fire emoji, and a claim that Indiana Fever fans hurled monkey noises and slurs at Angel Reese during the May 17th Sky Fever game in Indianapolis. Within 12 hours, the hashtag LunchProtectAngel climbed into national Twitter trends, and by sunset, every major sports site from CBS to AP was quoting the allegation as near fact, without a single supporting video clip.
Then Chicago will maintain the basketball. Reese misses.
Cable panels fanned the flames faster than a fourth quarter full court press. Pundits framed the 93-58 blowout as proof the crowd was toxic, and highlight reels zoomed in on heckling that sounded suspiciously like ordinary booing. Comment sections exploded, calling for stadium bans, lifetime suspensions, and even a forfeiture of the Fever's next home date. Overnight, Indiana's fan base morphed from feel-good sellout crowds into the league's newest villain squad.
It is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. And the fact is that originally it's, oh yeah, you know, we're looking towards everything. Then they had to double down. They actually redacted this statement. They redacted a statement. They redacted the statement saying we're looking at everything, saying no, we're actually not looking at most of the stuff. We're looking at a lie spread on social media that went viral. We are looking into a literal lie spread on social media that got spoken into fact. We're looking at a lie.
For the next 10 days, an impromptu crisis cell inside the WNBA's Manhattan headquarters practically slept under fluorescent lights. Investigators pulled every camera angle from the May 17th Sky Fever broadcast, synced house mic audio, and tracked down ticket holders in the lower bowl. Security guards, ushers, and even concession stand attendants sat for interviews. By day 7, they had reviewed more than 40 hours of footage frame by frame. By day 9, they had spoken with 30-plus eyewitnesses, including both teams' bench, personnel, every floor official, and 2 off-duty cops working the tunnel. They even swept the arena's Wi-Fi logs to pinpoint who first posted the viral allegation and when. On May 28th, the league finally went public. "We have not substantiated racist fan behavior," the statement read, adding that no slurs could be heard on the master audio and that no witness corroborated the claim. It was a decisive rebuke to almost every headline written the week before, yet outrage cycles don't slam on the brakes.
Any of these players, and we know some did, played into this, let's make sure they're suspended and fined. All right? Let's make sure that they miss some time. Make a statement.
But walk into the Chicago Sky's practice facility next, and the narrative unravels even faster because their head coach was about to admit something that blows an even bigger hole in the story. 2 mornings after the league announced its probe, Chicago Sky head coach Tyler Marsh stood in front of a half circle of beat writers and delivered a 9-second confession that gutted the accusation from the inside out. Asked when his staff first learned about supposed hate speech in Indianapolis, Marsh didn't hedge. When everyone else did, he said, adding that the locker room found out only after social media posts began circulating.
One investigation with your team is put out fucking investigation.
Yeah, I think we agree. I think we're in compliance with them, with the league, and obviously there's no room or space in our game for hate. So we're compliant with everything that's going to happen.
Coach, when did you become aware that there was hate speech that happened?
I think when everyone else did. I think that it's something that we heard about, and so again, we're just forthcoming with anything that the league is able to do investigation-wise.
Instead, Marsh revealed his players heard nothing unusual. Officials never logged a complaint, and post-game conversations in the tunnel focused solely on a flagrant foul, not fan misconduct. Even more damning, Marsh emphasized full cooperation with investigators, implying the Sky had zero first-hand evidence. Instead, it painted the probe as a reactive scramble to online outrage. But listen to this. Angel Reese stepped to a different microphone and blurted something that detonated whatever credibility her advocates had left.
3-time BET Sports Woman of the Year, Angel Reese, says she doesn't pay attention to what folks say about her online because no one has ever said a negative word about her in person. Uh-oh. So what have you been talking about for the last 17 or 18 months? Uh-oh. I hope she realizes she just admitted this and did so on camera with audio. Yeah, nobody's ever going to let her let this down now.
Angel Reese's June 10th post-game presser was supposed to be routine cleanup after an 85-66 thrashing by the Liberty, 2 or 3 bland answers, a quick mention of team growth, then off to the bus. Instead, the Sky Star delivered a sentence that torched 3 weeks of incendiary headlines. Sitting casually at the podium, she smiled at a question about online criticism and said, "I get so much love in person. I've never had a negative encounter in person, ever." Reporters froze. Cameras kept rolling.
For you, Angel, tonight you were extremely efficient, played with a lot of poise and confidence tonight. For for all the scrutiny you do receive online and stuff of that nature, what kind of messages a game like this send to them, as well as just the kind of momentum that this could build for you throughout the season?
Yeah, obviously don't worry about what's going on online. I get so much love in person. I haven't ever had a negative encounter in person ever. And I've been going through this for 3 years. I've never had an encounter in person that was negative. So people online are behind a keyboard for a reason, and I don't worry about that stuff. I trust my work. My teammates trust me. And I was telling Milla today, like, she felt like she was having a rough day, and I was like, how many times have I had a rough day? And you picked me up. So don't get down on yourself. I know my teammates have my back, my coaches have my back, and that's all that really matters. I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself and my teammates.
Second round of left.
Angel, I know tonight was not as you expected. Can I say something? This is
that's wild.
Within minutes, the 9-second clip hit ESPN's Newswire and rocketed across TikTok, where creators stitched it against her earlier interviews describing hostile, racist chants from Fever fans. Context matters. Less than a month earlier, Reese had told BET that she'd heard slurs at the free throw line, framing herself as the league's newest target and fueling the Protect Angel surge. Now she was practically bragging that every in-person interaction has been sunshine and handshakes. The contradiction felt so blatant that even sympathetic columnists couldn't spin it. Sports Illustrated's lead WNBA writer tweeted, "This single quote may sink the entire racism narrative." Talk radio hosts replayed the soundbite on loop, counting the seconds between love and never.
Quote, "I get so much love in person, I've never had a negative counter in person ever." What did the league just go through 3 weeks ago? Over what was supposed to have been this race hoax, it turned out to be a race hoax, but this big situation. in which the Indiana Fever fans were hollering racist remarks and making racist noises. In the league, 10 days this went on. This fiasco went on. And Angel Reese just admitted to the world she's never encountered a single negative person at all.
The fallout arrived at light speed. The Chicago Sky's PR staff abruptly cut the presser short, then instituted a strict new rule: no one-on-one interviews with Reese without a team rep present. Local beat writers grumbled that access had gone from open door to Fort Knox overnight, fueling suspicion that management now feared more unscripted admissions. Meanwhile, Fever supporters rejoiced. Screenshots of Reese's quote appeared beside the WNBA's not substantiated memo, forming a tidy meme that read, "Case closed." But that's not all. Dig a little deeper into Reese's social feed and you'll find a TikTok she reposted mocking Caitlin Clark as a white girl running from the fade that the league never publicly addressed. The timing of that post versus the racism allegation begs an uncomfortable question. Who's really fueling hostility here?
But this was put out right here. Again, hell, I thought it was fake originally. And I guess it's not. I mean, it's crazy. White girl running from the fade. There's Angel Reese right there. There's, of course, Caitlin Clark doing the responsible thing, not wanting to tank her public relations. Like Angel Reese walking away after the take foul the other night. Or the other day against the Chicago Sky.
It gets worse, because the very platforms that amplified the original claim are about to eat a heaping slice of humble pie. Fans and analysts pounced on the double standard. Imagine if Clark had mocked Reese's race online. Suspension talk would dominate the news cycle. Yet league brass stayed silent, even as social media sleuths clipped Reese's TikTok beside her teary interviews about racial hostility. Memes labeled the juxtaposition receipts of rumors, and the Fadegate hashtag trended for 48 hours straight.
Angel Reese, she goes on and she talks about how she doesn't hear about the outside noise, how she's never had a negative encounter in real life, never had a negative encounter in real life. But Ben, there's no way. There's no way she's never had a negative encounter, you see? You see, this is proof of the negative encounter. The WNBA even conducted an investigation about this negative encounter. No way Angel Reese said that. No way she did.
The fallout stung. Brand safety trackers reported a 12% dip in Reese's endorsement sentiment score the week the TikTok circulated, while Clark surged on the back of sympathy press. Several sneaker culture blogs openly wondered whether Nike's hesitation to court Reese versus Wilson's embrace of Clark stemmed from reputational volatility.
Angel Reese doesn't care about y'all. It is what it is. She's never had a bad encounter in real life, never had a bad interaction with a fan in real life. Then what was the whole point of this WNBA sham investigation? If you never had a bad encounter with a fan in real life, if you've never had a bad interaction with a fan in real life, then why not just come out, earn yourself some brownie points and say, come on, nothing took place here. These are just some Twitter trolls. These are my Reese's Pieces making up news just to keep me relevant. Why didn't you just come out and say that, Angel Reese? You'd probably get a little bit more, what's that word? Respect. Doing something honorable like that.
And the media's scramble to save face? It's about to get painfully public in the next 72 hours. ESPN felt the heat first. Chini Ogwumike, whose on-air monologue had scolded Fever fans as out-of-pocket racists, reappeared on SportsCenter looking rattled. In a 2-minute near-tearful address, she conceded, "I jumped the gun," promising to be more careful with her platform. Viewers pounced, clipping her apology beside her earlier rant and asking why the network hadn't verified a single slur before broadcasting it to millions.
I'm also happy that the WNBA treated the matter with the utmost seriousness, followed through with the investigation, and I understand that having a platform comes with a responsibility, and I do not take that lightly. So as our league continues to grow, I am going to grow with it. And I am so committed to be better in how I share perspectives and grow alongside the game that I truly love and adore. I mean, some of my favorite memories as a pro was playing in Indiana, and I truly believe that WNBA, we have the most passionate fans, and I'm grateful for our community. I hope you know, that's who I am. All right. Love you guys, thank you.
Then the quiet backpedal started rolling in like damage control ticker tape. ESPN's website swapped its May 18th headline from Fever crowd accused of racist taunts at Angel Reese to WNBA investigates alleged taunts.
Carry herself this way or that way? She doesn't do that. Well, actually, somebody that comes out and says hating pays too, I would think that that's exactly how she carries herself. Somebody that comes out and says, hey, hating pays too. Yeah, that's kind of how Angel Reese carries herself. Somebody who goes out of their way and says, I want to be the villain. They're watching because of me too.
And the backlash kept snowballing. Fans demanded ESPN issue on-air corrections equal in length to the original segments. A Midwest senator floated the idea of a Senate letter chastising outlets for publishing hearsay. Twitter's trending. Tab sprouted Lanier apologized to Indy right beside receipts over rumors, signaling that the court of public opinion had flipped the scoreboard. But the uproar didn't stop at the newsroom. Next, it hit the ticket lines and balance sheets of everyone involved. Vindication tasted sweet in Indiana. Within 24 hours of Angel Reese's on-camera contradiction, Fever diehards hijacked X with the tag, Shar apologized to Indy, demanding that networks, and Reese herself, publicly own the mistake. Even a Midwestern state senator chimed in, calling for formal apologies from every outlet that smeared our fans. Meme accounts merged the WNBA's not substantiated press release with Reese's new quote, and the mashups racked up millions.
She accused the Indiana Fever fan base of being racist. They investigated it. They said those accusations were false. The least that she could do is apologize to our great state and the fans that show up at these games and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Obviously, she's not going to do that.
Corporate partners took notes. Reebok's new campaign with Angel Reese suddenly looked riskier. Even Shaquille O'Neal, who championed the deal, admitted budget restraints forced his hand while hinting he hadn't anticipated this level of backlash. Meanwhile, Wilson's fresh Caitlin Clark spot roared past internal reach projections, buoyed by the sense that Clark and her fan base had been unfairly maligned. But listen to this. The financial spikes aren't the end game. League officials are already drafting enhanced security protocols for the rematch, and playoff implications could swing on who handles the circus better. Yet the biggest stakes are intangible. A clean, controversy-free game could cement Clark Reese as marketing gold, proving rivalry sells without race bait headlines. But one more social media flashfire, especially if Reese falters or Clark drops another stat line nuke, might freeze corporate checks and reroute fan interest back to the NBA's Summer League. Either way, the scoreboard won't tell the whole story. Perception will, and that leaves the final verdict in your hands. We started with a question. What if the loudest scandal of the WNBA season never actually happened? 10 days of league investigation turned up zero evidence. Coach Tyler Marsh said the locker room learned about racist chants from social media, not the court. Angel Reese herself declared she's never had a negative encounter in person ever, detonating the narrative on live TV. Media outlets that shouted hate were forced into on-air mea culpas. Ticket prices, brand reputation, trackers, and sponsorship dollars all swerved in real time. Yet beyond the headlines sits a deeper truth about 2025 sports culture. Outrage is currency, and anyone, player, reporter, or fan, can mint it with a single unverified post. The Reese-Clark rivalry is still phenomenal theater, but now it doubles. As a cautionary tale, verify before you amplify, or risk becoming the villain in your own highlight reel. So here's your moment on the clock. Type Fever Truth if you think the internet manufactured this mess, or Skyside if you believe Reese's story still holds weight. Smash that like button, hammer subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the July 18th rematch breakdown. Because if you think tonight's revelations were wild, just wait until the next buzzer sounds.